Good morning. In terms of this past weekend, I thought we had a very successful weekend. We were solid in a lot of areas. Want to commend, first off, excuse me, Omar Craddock for opening up his season with a new personal best and winning the pin relays for a second consecutive season. Very proud of the throwers over at the Drake relays. Coach Limke, Keely Medeiros having an outdoor best in both the shot put and the discus, and competing, winning the discus and finishing second in the shot put against a lot of the girls you'll see at the national meet here in about 5-6 weeks. Overall, I thought it was a very successful weekend. We did get better in a lot of areas, but I do still think there's a lot of things we can do better. Still having some issues as far as our baton exchanges, and that's on me, and I will get that fixed. But overall, I thought we did a great job. Again, the pin relays is a situation where it's very hectic and something everybody needs to experience. But after being there, it makes you better and it helps you handle other situations better. So, in terms of this weekend, we're going to send some people up to the FSU relays. The people that didn't get to compete this weekend, and people we're trying to see who our 30-man and 30-woman rosters are going to be for the conference meet. So we've got to kind of take a look at some people this weekend as far as that goes. And after that, 2 weeks from now, we're at Athens, Georgia for the conference meet, which I expect to be another great meet as always. On the women's side, I think you've got LSU, Arkansas, ourselves, that we all think have a good chance of doing well there. And on the men's side, it's going to be a great competition between the Gators, Georgia, and LSU and Arkansas on that side. So it's going to be a great meet overall, and we're looking forward to the competition here in a couple of weeks.
It seems like every week you see Jeremy posting his personal best just keeps getting better and better in the throw. And even when talking to him, he says he knows he can still do more. Just kind of talk about how he's improved and still not his best yet.
Thank you for saying. I've neglected to bring that up. Jeremy broke our school record again this weekend, and when you talk to Jeremy and talk to Coach Limke, the focus is, again, just getting a little bit better each week and being at our absolute best at the end of the year. And you've seen that with Jeremy. There's been kind of a constant progression week by week. But I think the thing with Jeremy, nothing seems to rattle him. He just kind of goes out there, doesn't worry about the competition. He gets in the ring, he takes care of what Jeremy's got to do, and that bodes well when it comes to championship season, because that has to be your focus. Again, I've said this before, it's not like football or basketball or some of the other sports where you're actually worried about what your opponents are doing. You've got to get in the ring and do what you do best, and Jeremy does a great job of that every weekend.
And I don't know much about the track in Athens and how often you guys have performed there. We kind of talk about SECs and the arena, and what do you look forward to in a couple weeks?
I haven't been to Athens, Georgia for a track meet since 2007, but I do know that they've got a new facility, and it's supposedly very nice. But at the end of the day, it's got 8 42-inch lanes, and we got to step in there and do our jobs. We can't worry about anybody else, and I'm not one for excuses, and my team won't be one either. And the bottom line is that we got to compete on the same track everybody else does, and that's what we're going to go out there and do.
What kind of production are you not getting from the women's side? Where can they improve the most? What's realistic for them to expect?
Well, realistically, I think we could be a top 3 team at the conference meet. But what we've got to do is we've got to trust and believe in who we are on the women's side. We've seen flashes of it, like with Keely this weekend, with the hurdlers a couple of weeks ago at the Tom Jones meet. Corey McGee, the women's sprint medley did, and actually the women had a very good weekend overall. We qualified for the Championship of America in the 4x4. We were second in the sprint medley. You got into do was second in the 400 hurdles. So overall, the women they're doing very well. But what we got to do is we've got to show up this weekend at FSU and next weekend at Athens and believe and trust in who we are. As I've said to them, and I've said to you guys in the media before, if they weren't capable of doing the things that we're asking them to do, they wouldn't be here. We recruited them here because we knew they were top-level athletes. They just got to trust and believe in their God-given ability and go out there and lay it on the line.
How about the preparation for the men as you look ahead a couple of weeks towards the SEC tournament? I know you want to have your best performance every go out, but how do you start to maybe prepare for that in terms of the training?
Well, it's just what we do every year. We start to just kind of back off. Let's say we might do 50% of what we've been doing before. We just want to make sure we freshen them up. We don't get them too flat. And, it's no different than indoors, except for this time it's Georgia. Georgia's got a very good men's team, and, we're going into their backyard, so to speak, and we got to go in there and be prepared to fight and match their intensity and match their focus. And, we'll be okay. We've got guys that have been through the situation before, but what we can't do is expect that we're going to go in there and they're going to lay down for us because we're Florida. They're going to come at us harder because we're Florida.
And I know world events usually don't cross over into sports too much, but is it today a day that maybe you talk to the team or mention to the team a little bit about Bin Laden, being killed or what that means, or do you just sort of leave that alone and that's something that they can discuss on their own?
It's not something I'm going to bring up and have a team meeting about, but I'm sure there'll be, pockets of discussions. And, obviously it's a huge event in the history of the United States. And, we try to talk about things other than track and field during warm-ups and cool-downs. So I'm sure that's a subject that'll come up, but we're not going to have a special meeting or anything about it. It's something that happened. It's something we're all glad has happened. But we got to move forward, and we got other things we got to take care of. I'll let the president take care of that one. So.
Coach, you see some big marks and times this weekend, and your philosophy always to be at your best at championship time. Talk a little bit about that and how you think both teams are progressing towards that as we head into SECs.
Again, I was very pleased and have been very pleased all year with the progression of both teams, and they are very aware of our philosophy of being at our very best in the next couple of weeks and then beyond. But I think the big thing is that we have to do is, they're young people, and sometimes they get a little complacent. We have to understand that basically the slate's clean now. We start all over. Everything now has just been preparation for what we're about to do. But again, I feel very confident that we're going to perform at our best. I have no reason to believe we wouldn't. I think the team is confident. I don't think it by any means we're overconfident. We know what we're up against for the rest of the season. There's no competition we're going to go into for the rest of the year that's going to be easy, and we don't expect it to be. But what we're going to do is we're going to prepare as if we're the underdog, and we're going to go into every competition as if we are so, and just get after it.